We're going to talk about the Excelsior brass band, also formed in Algiers, across the river in voodoo land. Now, the thing is, we talked about one of the early bands, the Pickwick, that was formed in the same place. And the best I can determine is that the Pickwick band may have morphed into the Excelsior brass band. Both bands were comprised, the membership that is, mostly French-speaking Creoles. And the band lasted from about 1880 until 1928, which means there were a lot of different musicians in and out of those bands. A lot of these musicians played in one band, then another, then another, then another. Perhaps one of the most famous musicians was Peter Eppin Bukash, who was a trumpeter who also played violin. In his early years, he played in an orchestra for dances on the violin, and later he started playing in brass bands with the Onward Brass Band, and later the Excelsior Brass Band, which he actually led. So that is his importance. He was one of their most renowned leaders. But as musicians do, he did a lot of other things on the side. For instance, you might find this interesting. He played with Joe Oliver's band as well, just like Manuel Perez. He played with Faith Marable's band, another great band in the New Orleans area, etc. He actually got to play at the Cotton Club in New York City as well. He traveled around the country and played with everybody that he could, because he was a very, very well-respected trumpet player. Most jazz musicians, you know, in these days, they live the fast life. They live to get 50 years old. That was considered very, very old. This man lived to get 90 years old, and he actually ended his career by being one of the founding members of the band that opened up at Preservation Hall in New Orleans, which means he is one of the original members of the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. So it goes from the Pickwick to the Onward to the Excelsior to gigs everywhere, including Sidney Bechet in New York at the Cotton Club, and he went back to New Orleans, where he was able to walk into Preservation Hall in the middle, late 60s, and found yet another great jazz institution, the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, and all that comes out of the Excelsior Jazz Band and the little town of Algiers across the river in voodoo territory, a whole bunch of French Creoles. I hope you have found this journey to be informative and also very interesting. Thank you.